We started to hear the third wave of coronavirus started to hit in India, all over in India. Many people started to die, and we knew that it will very quickly it will affect to Nepal also, because if anything happens in India because of the open border, that will come to Nepal very shortly. So no wonder after some time we heard that third wave of coronavirus came in Nepal, and that is hitting different part of Nepal, and some of our girls also started to get sick, um, and 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 we didn't know what happened. But slowly, after another, girls sister started to get sick with the coronavirus symptoms and all. Then everybody suggested we need to do the PCR to all the girls and staff and everybody from safe home. So we did. We sent all the girls and staff to do the PCR check, and next day the result was more than half of the girls. In fact, 80% of the staff and the girls got a positive result of the coronavirus, and I was very nervous and I didn't know what to do. Not only the girls got the positive, but the manager who used to look after the safe home ministry, who used to operate everything, Pradipti, also got the positive result, and she had a 6 months old baby, and we were very afraid whether if the baby get infected, and it would be very difficult because she would not be able to say what happened to her. So we had to send Pradeep ji back to the home, Hetora, which is 5 hours drive from here. Um, that was the last day the domestic flight was operating. We were able to get the ticket, so she flew back to home. And when she went to home, and slowly she started to get really sick, and she went to the hospital, and doctor basically said that 50% she was infected with pneumonia. So it was very difficult situation. One after another, it was coming, and and after that, all that happened here in safe home. We started to put those infected coronavirus positive girls to the isolation. Well, you know that we were overcrowded in our safe home, so we didn't have place for isolation. So we have to empty the tailoring training room and the parlor. So we isolated them as much as possible, and we were prepared to face the worst situation. Though we were praying, and God is promising us that He will help us, but we had to be careful as well. So we bought all the oxygen concentrator, medical equipments, thermal guns, and everything, because by that time many people were getting sick, and all the hospital were packed, and hospital were shortage of the oxygen and all, and oxygen concentrator were shortage in market. There was one piece we were able to buy, and it was just difficult situation. By the time, slowly we started to give them special diet and careful. We checked their saturation 3 times a day, and the fevers and everything. We had to go there as a family, taking the risk, because this is the ministry that He has given us to serve these girls, our sisters. So we went there and took care of them, and after some time, the girls started to get better. But in other hand, Pradipti in Hetora, in our home, she was getting sick, so we had to bring her back to Kathmandu again by an ambulance, and her oxygen level was going down and down and down. It was very difficult for us to find the hospital bed in Kathmandu, and they basically wandered around for a whole day to find the bed. Finally, we found the bed, and she was admitted, and after a few days, she was put in the intensive care unit because her condition was getting really bad. Um, but because um, you know it was just difficult for me. I just didn't know when coronavirus happened and people getting hospitalized, and there's no one allowed to go, and also It was a strict lockdown already in Kathmandu, so I was almost thinking like I was helpless, though God's promise was always with me. But here in the other side in safe home, um, local government from the area come to know that many girls are being positive in one place, and they were calling us and they were asking so many questions, and they basically said you have to evacuate all the girls as soon as possible. And I didn't know what to do, how to do that, and they said they will help us. So we started to contact in local villages where they come from, and for the 12 girls, we found the neighbors, some of their relatives, and other people. They wanted to keep them, so we sent 12 girls by bus, and government helped us to arrange that transportation, and and because the we had to minimize the people in safe home because we don't have a water, we have a water shortage, and we had to buy the grocery, we had to go outside to get the grocery and all. We want to protect as much as possible in safe home. um, and at the same time the corona attack was going on very severely. Even now it is going on. So many people, our relatives, and the top leaders of the churches, they started to die, and our neighbors, and so many things was happening. So thank you so much, um, everyone, for standing with us in this time of trouble. Your prayer has been answered. All the girls, and Pradipti also um, got better. She's discharged from hospital and she's back in home. And it is the answer of your prayer.